Hi everyone, this is Suzanne Wagner and we are doing the astrology for April 2022. Sorry for the delay in all of this. It has been a wild moment historically and personally. Thank you for the patience from all of you in giving me a chance to get this out. As you can already tell, April is busting out all over. It started with the new moon in Aries, forcing us to challenge ourselves in many ways that were new and at times overwhelming. We are attempting to move from our inner impulses and make them somehow constructive in a chaotic world. Not a small challenge. We feel that others want too much of us and there seems to be too many things on our plates. What seemed reasonable has leaped into an oh my God feeling on many levels. While we are desperately trying to be independent and do it ourselves, there are too many things that just seem to be arising to not need a bit of help going forward. Sometimes we learn that it is important to need others and allow others to help. And while independence is important, learning to let others in while retaining that sovereignty is also lovely. This new moon packed a punch, and the initiative is going to last for longer than expected. That is because it aligns with Mercury, and the major planets are all in direct motion. I see many being courageous in ways that will not be known for months or maybe even years, but we will see some overcome tremendous obstacles that will show us a fierceness that will start a process that can change our world in marvelous ways. So Mars and Saturn conjunction is going to give us a tone of energy that will also be required because of the monumental obstacles that are arising. While this month, there will be moments of intense power and push. There will also be moments of exhaustion that can be caused by suppressing fear. Look the fear right in the eyes, own it, love it, and learn to pace the energy in a way that is manageable and sustainable. Jupiter and Neptune move into a positive interaction on April 12th. While this supports great humanitarian qualities in our souls, let's make sure they are manifesting in productive ways that have a lasting impact. We are learning that this world also needs our kindness and altruism. There are many things that are testing us and pushing us to move in very unusual angles. I believe that this is what we need to make sense out of the impossible and to somehow make it possible. While we can be practical, it seems our personal feelings keep taking us off track and stop us from being highly effective because of our frustration. Sacrifices are being asked of all of us, and it's not going to end anytime soon. So much seems to be not going according to any familiar path. Too much seems to be not fulfilling in the ways that allowed us to feel accomplished and successful. Discontent is growing, and there is a passionate upset that is getting ready to explode. Take one small thing at a time. We cannot take big bites into lots of problems. It feels as if we are choking on, This month, try to get the finances in order and do your best to move expectations off to the side. There are too many very large critical and global issues arising, and that make this moment where we have to listen to our hearts and do what our hearts say rather than listen to the toxic thoughts of others. With Jupiter and Neptune conjuncting, it seems as if there are so many matters hitting us on an emotional level that we are concerned with our compassionate heart that it may break under the emotional pressure of this aspect. There is tremendous concern and fear. There is a desire for a much more compassionate world. There are places that now we doubt and question on every level. Too many that have had control and power do not care about what we feel. Too many feel as if they are not respected at work and not honored or valued. It is taking a toll on our health and mental stability, and it will take a toll on our own reality. These two planets complement and work together well, but they are forcing us to see the very different ways that some handle emotional situations. This aspect is causing a breakdown of the mental stability that has carried us into this moment. It is causing those on the edge emotionally to feel as if they are falling apart. It makes us look at where some living on the edge of depression for too long and now are falling off that edge. Anxiety is increasing and too many constants in the world are slipping away, making it harder to be optimistic. Astrologically, this Neptune-Jupiter conjunction makes us support the underdog, feel overly sensitive, and want a better world and demand a reality that becomes more tolerant. On April 16th, there is a full moon, which will give us great insight into what we need to work on. Relationships become even more important, and we are going to finally expose those places where we are out of touch, neglectful, clearly flawed, and out of balance. It will be a time to move towards improving those places. Our feelings and social situations are taking us off in new directions, and while the practical is important, we are looking more into how we as a world can work together. Saturn will move well with the sun and the moon, and that can give us a much more helpful engagement and new ways to do our work. Telling the truth to superiors can force a change that has been deeply needed for too long. Stand up with others and stand together as a united front. You'll have a better impact that way. Saturn and Pluto will square during that full moon, and that can put more pressure on many things that will drive us to ensure that these changes will be implemented and continued. There is no more holding back. All the planets are going full steam ahead. Pluto goes retrograde on April 29th, and that intensity of the full moon still being felt, things will get complicated and heavy. We will question an authority and look at how powerful people have been so terribly abusive. We will finally stop believing what is being shoveled into our minds, and those with authority are shown not to care about us in ways that could make a big change and difference. We will realize that without drastic change, this horror will continue. This whole month, we are in an eclipse zone, meaning that we are in the pulling and pushing of the eclipses coming in. It's usually about 6 weeks before and 6 weeks after, and that can bring terrible things in May and a tremendous amount of discomfort right now. Especially in May, the Russian Federation is going to take some really horrible, desperate financial hits. The first eclipse hits on April 30th. It is a Taurus Scorpio trajectory. We want financial success, and also we now demand emotional balance and fairness. This is a solar eclipse in Taurus, and it happens just as Venus will hit Jupiter in Pisces. Venus is in charge of this eclipse, and it will also connect with Uranus and Mars. There is a lot of energy, and it intends to be explosive. Many things will change. While those changes for some are terrible and beyond belief, those moments will herald a shift in strategy in those participating. Many things will be impacted over the rest of the year because of just this one eclipse. I expect the financial world will get rocked. I know the resources are going to be lacking in many areas. I know that the force of freedom fighters will be strong, and many forces of resistance are assured to force change. Many countries will be upgrading their security systems, and the internet is going to drastically shift as a new internet with higher security will come online somewhere from May through September of this year. Those things that we value will be reevaluated, and many things will become less important to us. Our ego will take many hits this month, but that is a good thing, as too many egos have been ruling the world unfairly. So the solar energy will explode, and many people will actively shift towards energy efficiency through solar energy. This month, we want a simple world and activities that will allow us to feel more healthy and happy. But while that is happening, there will be those that are stubborn and resist change in violent ways that continue to cause suffering. Expect to see things that will shock you and be jaw-dropping. No matter what happens, pay attention to your body and what you need. Let nature speak to you in the whispers of compassion and kindness. Appreciate the power and magic that is held in this moment in time. I hope you guys roll with this month. Thanks, everyone.